Okay, so I forgot how phone storage worked, so this is going to be 3 parts of my Taylor Swift The Tortured Poets Department review. So we were talking about her song Peter, and she's saying this guy was a scene stealer. You know, he was a mind reader, he was enigmatic, she couldn't help but follow him. But yeah, time didn't move the same for both of them. You know, he's not in the Lost Boys chapter of his life, and she's on grown-up time, so she resents that he did not grow up, and I don't blame her. So yeah, he'll piss me off sometimes, you know. All right, so the Vulture's the next one. By all accounts, she almost... Okay, so it's talking about someone who almost fell in frozen ice as a child. Or she did fall in ice, but she got saved, and how something else happened to her that made her feel like she fell through the ice again. So, yeah. She tries to avoid being in a traumatic situation. Like, people nicknamed her the Bolter. She says all her fucking life flash before her eyes. It feels like the time she fell through the ice, then came out alive. So yeah, it says she kissed, we're assuming a guy, but yeah, ended with the slam of a car door. So this like contrast, earlier, you know, she's talking about someone opening a car door, you know, to be romantic, and now she's talking about someone being called a whore, and, you know, dealing with a nice guy and feeling like, you know, she almost drowned or something. So yeah. Yeah. Just really fragile in certain ways, but, you know, they're also having defenses. So yeah. So yeah, she wants the bolter that the subject's about, in places with many faces, but they're off to the races, and she's laughing, drawing aces, but none of it's changing. So like, she's getting a lot of money, you know, the chariots, the hearts are hers for breaking, there's escaping. Yeah, so this sucks. This situation sucks. But there's something that made this woman feel like she fell through the ice. You know, so that's ever pervasive and prevalent. So the next song is called Robin. It says, this person is raining, is like an animal. This person's bloodthirsty. Yeah, so like, strings tied to levers, slow down clocks tethered, all this home and sip to keep it for you in sweetness. Way to go, higher and higher, wilder and lighter for you. So like, they're all wanting this bird to fly, you know, and this person is kept in the dark, and this person's just, you know, like a roaring lion. You're a just ruler covered in mud, you look ridiculous. So this person's not very graceful, and doesn't really know what's going on. So yeah, they're not getting the result they want. Buried down deep and out of your reach, the secret we all vowed to keep it from you in sweetness. So yeah, this person had these wonderful things going on around them. Dragonflies, favorite spot on the swing set. You have no room in your dreams for regrets. You have no idea. So like, this person's affected by mean people, and Taylor says you'll bounce back just like your trampoline. and now will curtail your curiosity and wanting to give this person a sweet, you know, send off higher on a trampoline. Happiness like you were jumping on a trampoline. Okay, so the last song is the manuscript. It says, now and then she rereads the manuscript of the entire Tour de Fail. They compared their licenses. He said, I'm not a donor, but I'd give my heart if you needed it. She rolled her eyes. Okay, you're a professional. He said, no, just a good Samaritan. Okay, so like, yeah. She's talking up some game. This is getting sexual. She intends it to get sexual. So they're talking game. He said that if, okay, so like, he's expecting it to work out if it's as good as the conversation, but it's not. It's over. It's over. It's over. All right. I really don't like lines like that. That's stupid. Just don't do it. Don't say it. At the age of 10, she wished she was 30 and made coffee every morning in a French press. Afterwards, she ate only kid cereal. So, like, yeah, she doesn't really want this guy. You know, she likes her, I don't know, wheelhouse comfort, her old faithful, her old trusty. I couldn't sleep. It was in, yeah, so it's like she would sleep in her mother's bed, like when she was little, I guess. It says, then she dated boys who were her own. Oh, this sucks. Okay, yeah, she was with old fucks. With old fucks. And she thought she was wise because of it. Years passed. She's told to write about what she knows. Looking back may be the only way to look forward. The actors hitting their marks. There was a slow dance. Yeah. So there's this, Taylor's talking about like how this person wants, you know, excitement, joy, sparks, all of the topics we're talking about. You know, Peter being enigmatic. We're talking the whole song, the love, the feeling of being in so high school, the feeling of, you know, that first kiss, the feeling of everything that brings you to this point, and isn't like, oh, I'm a washed up piece of shit and I don't know where I've been. You want the other thing. You don't want the latter, you want the former. And she has that somewhere. And she's talking about how people have this somewhere, despite their bad reputation sometimes. We don't know what or who she's talking about. We just know that comes up over and over in this record. The only thing that's left is the manuscript, so we got to write it down. We got to put a little bow on it. We got to give it what it really means. What is this story? Okay. A person like me, an autistic asshole that doesn't understand, know anything, we cannot write all of this shit that Taylor writes as a literary genius that knows words that I don't know and have to look up like a commoner, like just a sad pedestrian. But at least I tried to learn. I'll remember one day. All right. She knew what the agony had been for. One last souvenir from my trip to your shores. Now, when I reread the manuscript, but the story isn't mine anymore. So yeah, thinking that you have it all figured out and realizing that you're only one player in an entire tapestry. There is a whole multiplicity of opinions. You all have a story. You and this other person have, maybe you both have a story. Maybe that person's story makes you seem different. Maybe your story makes them seem different. But this story that this third party or whatever, like maybe they know, maybe they don't. Maybe they're smart like Taylor. Maybe they're not smart. Maybe they're not smart like Amy or something. Maybe they're like Amy and maybe they're not. We don't fucking know. We don't fucking know. I am going to review Taylor's next album. I'm probably going to do it today because I have nothing else to do. All right, that's what I'm doing. with my 1 day of unemployment. I actually work today for most of the day, and I'm gonna work after this. But this is my gift. So Merry Christmas yesterday when you see this eventually. Bye.